ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So Hare Krishna. So welcome to today's mādhurya kādambinī class. So in the last class we were discussing yesterday's class about the anartha nivritti. So just we were discussing anarthas. So many times many people were brought to the temple, but still they are not getting any attraction to do devotional service. So what is the reason for this? Even after taking the prasadam, they were not able to taste any attraction. They were not able to get any attraction for that. Even after hearing the kirtan, also they were not getting any taste to do hear kirtan. So what is the reason?
Offenses, Prabhuji, aparadhas.
Yeah. So particularly
Namaparad.
Namaparada. So that's why otherwise we can make whole world devotees, because every living entity is potential enough to do bhakti, because no living entity is equal to the Lord. So by constitutionally no living entity can be Ishvara, and it doesn't need any bhakti. It can accept bhakti, it cannot do the bhakti. It's not like that. So that's why every living entity, being a part and parcel of the Lord, so they are potential enough and they are meant for the doing the devotion service to the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. So then what is the problem? Jivatma is pure, we all know, so it cannot be contaminated. So then what is stopping actually? Only stopping element is and also bhakti is so powerful, and Jivatma is pure, and every Jivatma is constitutionally servant of the Lord, but still we are not seeing the many people in the devotees. In the society, many people are not devotees. The problem where it is, so we are doing kirtan, and by just Nagar Sankirtan one time we hear, so they have to become mad. They should get the full attraction, and holy name is having the full strength, and it is having the tons and millions of the potencies in it. So Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. So Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpita Nimita Smarane Kala. So there are the thousands, that means lots, the own potency is invested in that. But still we are not seeing the many are not becoming devotees, even after hearing the Sankirtan. So the reason is offenses. So what kind of offenses? Particularly, so offenses towards the holy name. So this is the reason. Then what is the solution for that? Then how those can be made devotees? So then what is the probability and possibility in this society? Now you see in this present society, there are many and millions of thousands of people. They don't believe in the Vedas. They blaspheme the Vedas. So already they are. So since blaspheming the Vedas, Vedic literature, which offense this is? Fourth. So this offense they do. They blaspheme the Vaishnavas because of the seeing the lifestyle of Vaishnavas. They blaspheme Vaishnavas and also they blaspheme the Vedic literature. So then they are all, that means presently they are committing offenses. They did commit offenses previously also, many. Then how to make them devotees? So what is the solution for them then? If you understand the science, just only solution is the influence of the aparadas should be reduced. Then they may get the little taste for the bhakti. Just we may think artificially, so just showing the big temples or big opulence, this, that, nothing. These are all superficial causes actually. Thinking that these will attract the people. No. Only thing is what? So when the fire, the powerful influence of the offenses are get suppressed some extent, then only they can turn towards the hearing the sadhus. So then they start hearing. They may develop little taste. Otherwise, they will feel if sadhu goes and if starts speaking, they will get so much irritation and so much, that means uneasiness and discomfortableness, and just is like a bitter poison. And you might have understood also this, experienced also many times. When you go outside preaching, we have seen like this many times. Even some people, they blaspheme. They like this, how many people? 90%, 99%. Even 1% we are not devotees. In 8 billions of the, that means 800 crores, 8 billion people population. How many Vaishnavas are there? In 4 sampradayas. Maybe 10 lakhs. So what is this? It's not a 10% of the 1 crore. Like that 800 crores are there. ఏమైంది ప్రభుజీ, ఏమన్నారు మాతాజీ?
Something talking with your daughter.
Sorry.
Okay.
So the only solution is either, that means the influence of these aparadas has to be reduced or otherwise destroyed. Then only they will become devotees. Otherwise, this 8 billion people, so you have to search. So whose offenses are less? So them if you go and touch, then there is a chance to become devotees. They may get. So that's why our strategy of preaching should be based upon this, not just superficial things. So it needs this kind of, that means they should be, and also checking also how, that means even the new people also, yeah, anyway, some you can try, and if you try and if you see the many times they are showing the repulsion, then you should understand that, yeah, he is having the problem, offenses are there. And someone is having this just by exposed, if they are exposed to the little devotion, like sometimes calling for the programs, and so, and also we can conduct the various programs. That's why it's like a like you see corona test. What do? Like that, you have to expose the millions and thousands of people for the devotional, like kirtan, sankirtan, and other activities. If you and all the big festivals, and if they are getting some attraction, that means, yeah, they are now right candidate. They have little interest, then that has to be fan it carefully without they should not commit offenses. Like it's like a doctor. So every preacher is a doctor, spiritual doctor actually. Every preacher. So he should know the disease very clearly and understand that and give the treatment. Then this mission, preaching mission, will become very successful. So doctor is, instead of treating him, he is making more patient. So then it is also dangerous. Just by making him to commit more offenses. So then what will happen? That immature and improperly if we deal, then they will not do devotion actually. They will not reach to the desired goal. Okay. So that is why this Sankirtan movement we are taking forward. That's Prabhupada's 4 phases. His movement is based upon the 4 phases. First phase is Sankirtan movement. So in that Sankirtan movement, we are doing the Nagar Sankirtan, book distribution, and also books publishing and teaching. So that is the first activity. By this, so we can understand someone is get interested. So in this taste, if they have the little interest, then they will come to the temple. That's the temple entry movement next. Because there is some fixed place is needed if they want to learn more. Because just by the initial touch, they are feeling some interest. Then after that initiation, that means in the temple, they will be doing the Shravanam Kirtana, Shravanam Mananam. So that Shraddha they will get. After that Diksha, initiation moment. Then after that, continuing the association of the devotees and practicing the bhajan. So that's why classless society. That is the 4th moment. These are the 4 phases. Srila Prabhupada in 1949 itself, he planned his program. He is going to conduct his program like this. He decided already. And then he started bhajan, right time matured, and in 1965 he started this. So that's why everything whatever acharyas they do, the planning, that's based upon the Shastra actually. Very systematically they do. And their strategies and approaches are based upon the Shastra. Na Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunau. They're experts in the Shastra actually. Yeah. So the carefully conducting this initial programs. So then those will be so attracting the people who are having the less offenses. But then what we can do, the people who are having the more offenses, and what is the solution? Then you have to have the powerful. Can you make everyone devotee? Yes, you can make every Jivatma also devotee, provided you have such a strength in you to destroy their offenses. So that's why the whole society we cannot make into its devotees. It's not an easy thing actually, because now you are seeing that the rate of offending the scriptures and offenses are heavy actually. So that's why they are all stumbling blocks. They are all stumbling blocks for them to become devotee. So that's why we need to, our acharyas, whatever the plan they give. So since they are, at least they should become human form of life. They should lead the human form of the life. And they should be engaged somehow or other in other devotional activities like offering the karma, results of the karma. That's why our acharya said, okay, you people, these people are having so much problems, so let them become, at least work for the Krishna and offer the results. So that is the Savai Pumsam Parodhar. They may not get the taste. That means Savai Pumsam Parodharma, because since they are not having the taste for the holy name, so now they are asked to do some activities, some dharma, which is meant for the satisfaction of the Lord. And by this, what this gross result is manifesting in front of them. Then what will happen? They will be so offering those results to the service of the Lord. So then what will happen? Some kind of, so taste, there is a scope for the taste. Otherwise, if they keep on continuing the more and more offenses towards the Vaishnavas, these 10 offenses are looking only 10, but if you expand it, covers the whole society and all the activities. So that's why we had the Daiva Varnashrama also, which engages the devotees and other levels of the people also. And also, even outside society, the sinful society also should be following some kind of Vedic life. The Vedic life and Vedic lifestyle is meant for every human being, so that they will be stop committing the sinful activities. So that is, sinful activities will be reduced. Then who will organize that? Devotees will be doing the pure devotional service, but they should organize even the other society also. That is our future plan, actually. That's Srila Prabhupada's desire. The whole society should be organized, because devotees, the pure devotees, are the leaders of the society. They are the torch bearers, actually. And they will be showing the path to the whole society. And they are the prominent and highly elevated people. And they are the accommodating the all the, that means they will be planning and organizing such a way whole society will become devotees gradually. So otherwise, some pure devotee who is having such a spiritual strength, so he can make. But see, any acharya came, did they make whole world into devotees? No, only few. Out of that, Ramanuja came. What? Everyone became devotee. What? Some portion of the society will become devotees. So like that, then that Jivatma has to undergo some kind of material suffering, so that the influence of that offenses will be reduced. So then if they get in that right time, for that he should not do offenses. That means one side he is suffering, and also he is committing more offenses, like blaspheming the Vedic literature or otherwise. So not that means thinking that Krishna is also human being or otherwise not, and that is also offense. Holy name, that is also one more offense. And thinking that the glories of the bhakti, whenever he hear, oh, what is this? This bhakti, they are so much exaggerating this, that. Many places, many times, a lot of chance is there to commit offenses. So then the solution is, yes, we should try to spread this mission and find the fortunate jivas which are waiting, actually. Out of these 8 billion, definitely some jivas are really, so they are having the less offenses, and just you need to approach them and immediately they will be attracted to the devotion. There is a good chance, actually. And as much as devotees, the number is increasing because of that spiritual vibration, others, I mean, some people are chanting, and like this, like big kirtans are keep on happening, and people are hearing, offensive people also. When they hear, then their offense is reduced, their offenses are destroyed. Then what will happen? So like this, slowly whole world will turn towards the devotion. So this is a chance, actually. Okay. Then what is the solution for them? Then those, what Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, so as much as those are reduced, so then there will be a little taste, then they get the association, then after that hearing, then after that deliberation, then after that Shraddha, then after that they will be getting the Diksha, and slowly they do bhajan, And still in that bhajan stage, there's a anishtita, anishtata. So not stable. So that kind of devotion they are doing. There are 6 levels. Then gradually, so still continuing. That means a lot of hurdles are there, but still continuing. So the major anarthas are removed. So some extent, then what will happen? They will be getting the nishtha, and they will be further continuing. So like this, we understood. Definitely, we need the stages. So otherwise, some cases who are not having any offenses, in their case, only 2: taking holy name, getting the eligibility for the going back to God. That's all. 2 stages, finish. They don't have any more. So in the example is Ajamila's case. And also we read that. What else we did? Any additional points?
The reduction of the taste is because of the offenses, something like fever when it is.
Yeah, that is only the thing I explained.
One point, can you add it up, G, here? When the fever comes, after some time, the intensity of the offense will fade away. Is that time is a factor to fade away, or
Suffering.
Time is the only factor for suffering? After that, it will reduce?
Suffering is the factor to reduce the influence of the.
Okay, so he got the reaction for that offenses. So then
Yes.
the offense is cleared, you need to say. Okay. Thank you.
And yeah, we understood one more point. That means, how can we understand there is offense are there with us? That we can understand even after associating the devotees and reading the scriptures and doing the japa and getting the guru, but still after serving all these, still if we are not getting the result. So what is that result? Transformation in the heart. If heart is not transforming, is not becoming the soft, and it is becoming so hard, and then what? Still it is hard and very. So that is the meaning is. That means if a heart, that means there is offenses are. That means there are the offenses. So when the heart is transformed, at least they will be getting some feeling actually. Anyway, Asrudhara, that means getting the flow of tears, and otherwise that's hair standing on the end. That's a bit, even that is a bit more, but at least some. If you come, that is in the bhava stage, it will become bit, and after that more. But in before that, at least some taste and some kind of the compassion, something, at least some portion. Softness towards the other devotees and other living entities. And this kind of things are not at all there. That means really offenses are there. Really very, very big offenses. So that's why one has to understand his, assess his presence of offenses by the result. That result is the softness or the transformation in the heart. So that is and that's a tadashma saram hridayam batedam. We discussed that. And next, yeah, so today we are going to discuss the new, so we're going to finish, and then after that we'll finish the nishtha also. Today also a bit important discussion this is. Yeah, we need to refer and study again and again, 5 times, 10 times, if we refer and we teach and we understand, and then only those will become clear. And also read the Bhakti Rasam Sindhu, studying the properly, Bhakti Sandarbha and other. And unless if you don't understand the properly the science of the Bhakti, so simply in a wrong direction will be keep on going and speculating some own methods, because every practical step is backed up by the proper philosophy, proper shastric philosophy. So any activities, so like Prabhupada is having these movements, is having the proper philosophy, philosophically supported actions, planning, or the organization. So that's why it is very important, these Bhakti Shastras. Obviously, there is a chance maybe whole world is having less offenses, everyone also will become devotee. I don't say that everyone will not become devotee, provided in this time all the people came who are having the less, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recently appeared in this Kali Yuga. That too, it is the first portion, it's the first pada of the Kali Yuga, and it's like a Satyuga. And that too in Brahmaji's one day. This is the only one special Kali Yuga. So in every Brahmaji's day, one time only Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears. That too in the Vaivasthaman Mantra, 28th cycle, 28th Mahayuga. So he will be appearing. Krishna, original Krishna, and also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu both. So that's why the jivas who are appearing in this due course of the time, so very rare. Otherwise, other yugas, there is no clue, nothing. Sankirtan also in Kali Yuga, we don't see this much. Don't think that every Kali Yuga is like this. No, now the so thousands and hundreds of devotees we are getting, association and so many programs. These are all due to whom? Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because of him only this much is happening. So that's why this time who are appearing, these jivas, also very special, and there's a good chance. Also they become devotees. Otherwise, if you go further pathas of this Kali Yuga, there is so cruelty and very much you cannot expect, actually you cannot imagine also such a cheating and all the bad qualities in full extent they will be manifesting as progress of Kali Yuga. And that in other Kali Yugas, then forget. It's very difficult actually. That's why in this time, if we get chance and if we become serious and do something, some seriously our job, sadhana, then there is a chance. Otherwise, we don't know. Then after that, we'll be alone. In next Kali Yuga, so we don't get any association, and what will happen? Just 500 years, immediately we all took birth here, and we have this so much connection, close connection, and also so much teachings are also directly after the another. As time progresses, so who will remember Chaitanya Shikshashtakam? All will be there. Or who will be reading these books and this, that, association? Nothing. It's not so easy actually.
Prabhuji, will there be any possibility that a devotee like you can hold my ear and take?
You have to take me actually. You have to take me. So yes, Prabhu will all seriously will try. That's Kalau Sangha Shakti. This is possible by the only association actually, even the together. If we are alone, then we are out. Actually, even if you are a big devotee, you are alone, we will be finished. So that's why we are all together, even we are not so strong, but we are all together, then we will be getting the more and more. That means multiplied energy actually. So that it is easy for us to cross. So that's why he was saying have the communities and stay together you all, and don't for just for eating, sleeping, for these small necessities, why you are taking so much pain and going here and there and earning so much lot of money and finish your whole time is getting energy is wasted. And but we failed in the communities also because we don't have proper kshatriya who can organize that skills are not there actually. That is a mistake. Kshatriyas only can acquire the land and maintain, not Brahmanas or not Vaishyas. But we experimented farm communities with the Brahmanas and Vaishya qualities. So that's why that's because that is a skill actually. It's not a devotion actually. Organizing the land and protecting the people there, it's just a skill. It's a matter of a skill. Like you cannot, you have tried, you studied for the medical and you are joined as engineer, what you will do? So, engineering service, you cannot work. No, there is no relation with the anything, bhakti, these things, no. So only the skills, proper skills, if we acquire, then it is easy. So yeah, we need such a person, resourceful person. If we, that's why if we read the other shastras, how to organize the land and how to accommodate the people, facilitate them, and so that they nicely practice bhakti and simplified life. That is a thing actually. So that in this Kali Yuga, so our devotees will be protected. So that is the spirit actually. Why we want? Because we want to protect our devotees. That is a quality actually. So we should have such a Kshatriya quality. So protecting, like Arjuna. So he's protecting, they are protectors. So protecting the people from the adharma. Otherwise, devotees are participated in the adharmic activities for whole livelihood purpose. And also their energy is sucked by the other people just for their profit of making their profit. Our devotees' blood is drunk by the other people. They are so much materialistic cow killers, and it's really very painful condition. And they want to do devotion, but they don't get any time. And if they call for, yes, come for this, so today you have the extra hours. Delivery is today only, next Sunday we should do. So work for Saturday, Sunday also. Yes, yes, boss, we will work. They have to work, no, actually. No way. Because they want only this, actually. What is the devotees, what they want? Little food and little bed to sleep on a small house. That's all. We don't go to any restaurants, we don't spend money, we don't go this, that. What maximum we'll eat and what can we do? And stay. Maybe we are trying to protect our body from the cold and heat. That's all. Otherwise, what devotees are doing now also? In the cities also, what kind of enjoyment they are getting? So that's why there are gents, they have only one dress white, and Matajis also, they are also simple. In devotees, we don't see that having the like in South India. So, so much jewelry, 1 kg of jewelry, very. So that is not there. We don't see anywhere like that.
Prabhuji, in devotee community nowadays, the reason, I don't know, just an observation, it's not that devotees want this type of lifestyle and they're living outside. As grihasthas, you really don't have an option. Even in devotee communities, you're not welcome if you don't have money.
Yeah.
So what to
This
do?
is a problem actually. Because the structure not able to, we have failed actually in accommodating. And that is a Kshatriya skill is missing actually. Brahmanas and Vaishyas, if we send them to organize the land, maintain and acquire and maintain the land, so they cannot do. Brahmanas are begging. So we have the Brahmanas maximum quality is to get the resources, they can maximum beg. And Vaishyas, their skill is only just making the money, but not the organizing and managing the people. That is a problem of the Vaishyas. But Kshatriyas, we don't have the training actually. So we have, our people have skills of making money, and also becoming teaching and begging money. This we know. But resourcefully working and drawing the sources of this however total nature is Krishna's nature. So how to draw the different resources, money, land, manpower, and so and so, and how to get that, like Kshatriyas, they draw this. That quality is missing actually. So that for that we need to give the training actually. Kshatriyas will not fall from anywhere from the sky. So need to give the training, like the outside society also gives the training for the administrative services, Indian administrative services. So they will be having such a broad knowledge and understanding of many things, and they are very resourceful actually. So such a resourceful training is given to the devotees. They will also then act in that level actually. So they will come out of the box and think out not only just a temple, but they will find the ways to making the money. They will find the ways to get the people and do work done actually. This is the possibility there. Just is a matter of the training, nothing actually. Recruit the people and see the spark in them and train them, and they can. That's Prabhupada, everything he gave. If you hear the Prabhupada lectures, morning walks, room conversations, many times you'll be hearing. Just it's nothing is impossible actually. People just go and read the scripture, get the knowledge. Knowledge is the power actually. So if we have the proper right knowledge, this nature anyway is the same nature. When so Karnanasaya Vishnu glanced on the Prakriti, the nature, whatever came out, that only now it is. And everything is same, but just something is misplaced, and then we have to so take it back into the right position. Otherwise, nothing. All the 23 elements are there in the body also. Nothing is newly is coming. Everyone, so in everyone, the water is also having the same quality. Nothing is changed. Yes, Prabhu.
We are looking for a leader, Prabhuji, a leader who can actually guide us properly.
Yes, yes. Leaders also should be created by the Brahmanas who study that is Brahmanas' duty, that is he making the leaders. So these qualities actually, Brahmana means is not a cash, it's a quality, how to utilize for the bringing people into the Krishna consciousness. Like we are using mic, we are using laptop, we are using the camera, everything in the service. Similarly, all these qualities also should be utilized in the service and organizing, societies for the Vaishnavas. Yes, Prabhu Rukmini Mahanto. You want to say anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, is it like the Kshatriya training, is it given in the scripture? Because just an observation, like in today's world, now I came from the background, I spent some time in Christianity.
Yeah.
So the way they are, I found them like they are the most organized people, because without substance, they spread all over the world.
Yes, yes.
So they conquered the world just on the basis of their organizational skills. They have no substance at all.
Yes, yes.
But because they have such a great skilled people in organizing things and resources, optimizing them and growing them.
Yes.
So, but the thing is, whenever we, like sometimes I have had detailed discussions with the devotees, but many times devotees, they just detect, okay, they are there. But we have to find out things in the traditional way. Now, like how to see those things, because still we are living in the current society where varnashram is not there.
Yes, yes.
Things are haphazard.
Yes.
So shall we train the devotees according to the current scenario so that they can compete with the current system in the modern culture, and they create resources so that devotees are saved? Or shall we keep them in the and train them only in the Vedic culture?
Yes.
So how do you see that? Because like
so I'm also working and Sankarshaya Prabhu, and recently we all some thought I thought, and also I already thought other devotees also might be doing, but I was meditating on this, how to protect our devotees actually, and how to first of all that, and how to change also other society, sinless society at least. So what we have to do now, we have to first of all, so our people has to enter into the administration actually. like Indian administrative services are there. So now we have youth, and youth preaching we are doing anyway. So, and you see out of youth preaching, so only 100 boys, if they come to us, in that 100, that means if they are staying in the base, only 10%, if you, we saw all the survey also, only 10% boys will become the brahmacharis, or the full-timers. Otherwise, 90% they are still, so even after staying base for the 4 years in engineering college, if you start doing preaching, so from first year, if they join in a base, so after staying 4 years, only 10% people are, maximum 10 people or 10% people are interested in the joining full time. And that too, after 5-10 years, they are also becoming the 2-3 only, actually. Only 2 or 3 people only staying back. Even others also leaving. So now the practicality is what? Because they cannot become like Goswamis. It's because of the offenses and many these factors are there. So and also the society is such a way, it is prone to commit more offenses. The society organization is like that. Then also people will not stay back, actually, because the society is having its own the imperfection, and that is leading devotees to commit more offenses, and that self-destructive organization is there. So then what will happen? Whoever is joining, they are offending and they are leaving the society. So this is also happening because of the system is not the so perfectly it needs even still a lot of that means changes in that system. So now our system is becoming self-destructive, actually. So that is also one factor we have to properly understand, because self-destructive means it is allowing freely people to do the offenses, and that's why they are losing taste and they are going out. That is the reason, actually, simple fundamental reason. So now whatever I want to say, so what is the best now, instead of simply taking the piece of land and after that going 4 or 5 people and just begging the money from the outside and struggling and coming out back. So this is not the right model, actually. We need to have the resourceful people. So that's why we need to have the support from the bigger society. And that's why our if we enter into the administration, every year some 10-15 from our side who are trained in ISKCON, Krishna conscious philosophy, and they are joining as administrator for 10-15 in every year. So like that, if gradually another 20 years, if we reached at least 1,000 to 2,000 administrative officers are there in all over India, at least target for every India now. So then what will happen? IAS, IPS, IAS, IFS, IRS, in these, at least if our devotees are there, so then you see, then many things will become very easy, actually. So already resources are there with in nature is belong to the Lord, and everything is there, actually. And also there also system is having loophole. The whole constitution is a big loophole, actually. There is nothing, it's very easy to divert the energy, actually, in a so-called covering the so-called constitutional laws, and we can easily divert the resources. And then those people has to help these existing people in allotting and giving the resources, actually. And then we have to parallelly train the people, and so organize societies, small societies. Then after that, population, so pure devotion is promoted, and others also in the path of the pure devotional service. They are designing the society such a way they are turning towards this pure devotional service. So then what will happen? Then gradually the number is increased. Then politically we can get the power, actually. People are increased. Then first administration, then political. Because for administration, you don't need to do a lot of second type of work. So robbery, that, fighting, nothing. Just administration, only the intelligence. That we have already. Our people are having intelligence. So that's especially this who can implement. Youth leaders can do this. Youth leaders, their boys anyway, they are not joining and working in the corporate. Working in corporate means it is also Sudraja, and only for one person they are working. In that same energy, if they put in join in the administration, like collector, district collector, if they become, then what will happen? They can help our society to grow to build the Vedic society. They will help, actually. If we directly try, we are all Brahmanas and beggars. Beggars means we donations, we live on the donation, and we cannot organize the society. That's not sufficient. That is not power. We are not able actually. That's not possible by them. So that's why we have to understand the elements clearly. Nothing is impossible actually. Nothing is impossible. If we do systematically, everything can manifest. Everything can manifest. The same elements are there. Everything is same. Only thing is how to. So shastras are there, and all the plans are there. All the whole knowledge is given. Then just to catch the right path and understand the problem correctly, and also get the solution rightly and implement it. You can easily successful. And that's why we formed a team now for the Eastern, that's a North Indian Division Council. So that's a administrative, that means some group like Sangesh Sai Prabhu and Devakinandan Prabhu and Achit Mohan Prabhu and others like Sundar Gopal Prabhu and myself. We formed a team and we are trying to implement this. This is just 1 week plan only. Last 1 week we are planning this. We're thinking, and every day is my mind actually how to materialize, because now we have no time actually, very less time, and our society is growing. Like if you have a family and you new couple married and they are every year producing one child, and if they don't plan for them for the properly how to feed them and how to make them educated, then what will happen? So similarly, you are preaching and making devotees, and if you don't accommodate them properly in right atmosphere, just is a draining of the energy is going out, coming and going, nothing, no progress. So that's why our preaching effort should go on, and also we have to systematically accommodate them in right atmosphere so that their devotion will be increased and progress. So that is the thing actually. Okay, anyway, these plannings many will be there every day.
In this lines,
Yeah.
I would like to share an information, Prabhuji, maybe.
Yeah.
We call once Bal Govindas Prabhu. You must be knowing him.
Yeah.
From he's making a Gurukul near Pune.
Yeah.
And in their system, I found many positive points. Maybe now we can link it up with all few points there, few points here, few points here to make the system which you are discussing about. What he said is, they in their Gurukula, they will not teach anything till the boy goes up to 6-7 years. They just allow them to freely play. After 7 years, they will put them for basic training, wherein they observe the kid till 9 years. The attitude of the kid is towards the Brahminical or mercantile or administrative with the nature. And then they gradually groom them. Of course, everybody will be given allowed or trained for the state-wise 10th class examination. And then once the boy is 14-15 years, then they will train them in the nature which the boy is going towards. And then after 10th, they will divert them either in the economics side or art side. And then after intermediate is over, or while going through the intermediate, Prabhuji has a plan of, or he is already making it up, bringing the IAS officers, IFS officers to the Gurukula and then get them association with these by nature who are towards the Kshatriya side. They all will be guided through that the retired IAS officer, IFS officers and things like how to do their examinations, group examinations.
Yeah, that is also good. So because we need all the whole total energy has to properly channelized for the service of the Krishna. If that principle is satisfied there, then it's well and good. So that is there. So like that, yes, Prabhu. And also this is simple thing actually, because many IIT graduates, so they are studying and they want to settle in the life, material life only. Simple. Then ask them, give the training for the, we are going to start that. So IS coaching center, that's already we resolved actually. So that IS coaching center we are going to start, and we will be giving the training who are inclined and charitable, like Muslims, what they are doing. So they are charitable IS coaching center they are running, and all the Muslim whoever is intelligence, and they are recruiting, and then what they are doing, so they are giving with a less price of training for 2 years, and they are making the IS officers everywhere now Muslims, and their religion they want to propagate according to their scriptures. So that is the thing is happening actually. So that's why we are, because our manpower is not fully is doing bhajan, na? So they are also doing outside work only. Then why don't you do this? So that's the point. Who are interested to join in the IBM and do the full-time teacher, so okay, fine, we are they can come and join, and the temples they want to serve, no problem. And but who are interested like that, that's, and also like all the temple presidents also should be given very strong training. Like a temple president means he's not just managing temple, he's managing a one city. Like a district collector, how he is trained in the polity, economy, and that's geographical sciences, all the details worldwide and country-wise, the different religions and culture, many things actually they study, and also then they will become very resourceful. This kind of training, some actually some principles, if we take and train, so then our presence also will be, when knowledge is there, then their strength will be there actually. They can deal the things very easily outside society also, and then they can easily start the varnashrama colleges and form communities. So this also will happen like that, both all the areas, all the ways, like gurukuls, like Bal Govind Prabhu, yeah. So they also should need that. That is also needed there. Like this, we should all try. Then maybe in a few years, so we can build such a atmosphere. Okay, we come to our point.
This is very good thought, Prabhuji, to making the coaching centers, as you
Yes.
rightly say.
Yes, yes. I am philosophy. I am going to teach. Philosophy paper also is there in that. 500 marks. I don't see. I hope I will not see the same as there also. Because you all of your age is more than.
Dharmaraj has been chosen to be the emperor because he's a devotee, along with being a good Kshatriya.
Yeah.
So philosophy is also required.
No, you are all are not qualified for IAS. Your age is more than 32, I think. Everyone's is, that's why I'm saying.
I'm more than 50, Prabhu.
More than 50.
Roji, before entering into Nistha and Ruchi, Asakti and Bhav Prema, I think we have diverted quite a lot.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. That's why Nistha is not coming.
Taranga Rangini is happening.
Taranga Rangini is happening now. So, yeah, Kaischit Kaischittu Namakirtanadivatam Bhaktanam Premalinga Darshanena Papa Pravritya cha na kevala aparadha kalpite Vyavaharika Bahu Dukka Darshanena chapi Prarabdha Nasha Bhavascha. So now the point is, sometimes in someone's case, we are not seeing the symptoms of the prema, and also we are seeing the papa pravritti. And so then what we say, if, tell me, if someone is not showing any symptoms of the prema, and also still he is behaving sinfully, then what is it means? is having offenses or not? Yes? Yeah. We say he is having offenses. So that means any devotee who is not developing the symptoms of the prema, but still is having tendencies of doing the sinful activities, then what we think? So he is still having some offenses in general. But that is general. But some cases, in some devotees' cases, they are not developing the prema, the symptoms of they are not showing any symptoms of the prema, and also they are still behaving sinfully, sinful life leading, but they don't have any aparadha also. That is also possible.
What's
And
that?
yeah,
How can we consider that, Prabhuji?
yeah. So I will come through one by one. So that is also possible. And one more point. Also, they are devotees. They don't have any offenses. And still, we will be seeing that they are undergoing the some kind of the material pain. They are undergoing the material pain. So some devotees, so they are undergoing the material pain, and we should not think that they have. Some devotees are undergoing some material pain means generally what we think, oh, still his aparadhas are there and prarabdha is not fully finished. And because of that prarabdha, he is getting the results of the material pain. That we discussed. That is general siddhanta. But that is not necessary in everyone's case. So that means they are enjoying, they are suffering material pain, but that doesn't mean that they have the prarabdha karma. Even that prarabdha karma is not there, still you can see material pain. This is the second. First one is what? They don't show any symptoms of the love, and also they have the sinful tendencies. So that doesn't mean that they have the aparadhas. So absence of aparadha is possible actually. So that like these two things. That means absence of aparadha is possible, and also absence of prarabdha is also possible. Still we see the material suffering in the case of the devotees. Examples. Examples are so Ajamila. Ajamila is niraparada. How can you say niraparada? Because at the time of his death, he took the holy name. He was accommodated. He was allowed to chant the holy name. That means he got the opportunity. He is favored. He got opportunity to chant the Narayana name somehow or other. This happened because of he is sinful. That means he is niraparadi. That's why if one is not niraparadi, he cannot take the niraparadi means he's completely free from the offenses. Otherwise, he cannot take holy name at the time of the death. So that is true. So that means that is establishing he is niraparadi. So, but he is niraparadi, but that means it is established fact by seeing the Vishnu Dutas. That means chanting the Narayana name at the end, and Vishnu Dutas came. That means he is in niraparadi. That's why he is able to take the Narayana name at the time of the death. So that is established already. And but we saw Ajamila, that means putra namakarana pratidina bahuda tan nama ahvana samayeshu api prema abhava dasi sangadi papa pravrutti darshana. What it means? Ajamila chanted the Narayana name at the time of Namakarana Samskara of his son. By that name, all his senses, past, present, future, all are destroyed. Then after that, Swaputra Namakarana Pratidina Bahuda Tan Nama. Every day he was chanting, Hey Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. Like that. He was chanting, calling that small boy. So, Nam Ahvana Samayeshu Api. That means he is, so several times he chanted the Narayana's name, but still we didn't see any kind of prema in his life. Did you see any symptoms of the prema? So that means Narayana is uttering and any tears from his eyes, it came? No. that means on top of that, that means we don't see any symptoms of the prema, but still we saw on top of other thing, dasi sangha. That means he still associated with that woman. He didn't leave her. So that means papa pravritti was there. So associating that dasi, that means she was going with many people, and so at the time in the Bhagavatam also you see, so Ajamila's sons it was not said. So he got many sons. That means, so that means she was having many sons like that is said. That means, so she was also not a right woman. So and he is associating with her. So then what? That means sinful life was there still. So that means he purified all his sins by the first holy name at the time of Namakaran Samskara of his son. But there are no symptoms of the prema and also sinful life, but still there is no aparadha. We can definitely say there is no aparadha also. Papa pravrutti darshanat. So that's why this Ajamil's example is the case, is the proof to say that in some cases we will be seeing, we will not be seeing any symptoms of the love, and still in that person there is a papa pravrutti and absence of aparadha also. Okay. And second point, what I said. So in some devotees' case, we are seeing material suffering. It doesn't mean that they have prarabdha. Who is the example for this? Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Pandavas are the pure devotees. They are pure devotees. They are the very dear to Krishna. But we were seeing that they underwent lot of material suffering. So material suffering we are seeing. Bahu dukkha darshana. So what? Pandavas, they have prarabdha karma. What do you mean? That means many times people will be saying, hey, what is the use of your Krishna? If you take shelter of the Krishna, he is not able to protect the Pandavas from the Kauravas' bad planning, the cheating. And people think that what? Pandavas were just suffering there. If you see many Mahabharata speakers, they will be saying this. They have so much prarabdha karma and they underwent. Then what is the glory of the bhakti? That means devotees, even after doing so much devotion, once prarabdha is not destroyed, that lesson we get. Otherwise, devotion is not having the power than the prarabdha. What lessons actually? Many times in the society, they explain this. So Mahabharata stories without devotional understanding. And that's why the whole society is misguided actually in many ways. In all the ways, society is misguided. Completely misguided actually. They are not seeing the prarabdha. They are not seeing the glories of the bhakti. Okay. Now we have to find the reasons. Then why? Then why these two cases are possible here? So it is really some special cases, because in every science there are some exceptions will be there. These are some exceptions. So what is the reason behind these exceptions? Why it happened in the case of Ajamila? All his sins are destroyed, but even after chanting the Narayana's name several times, and we didn't see any symptoms of the prema in him. And also we didn't see he is living his sinful life. Also in the case of the Pandavas, we are seeing they are the devotees of the pure devotees of the Lord, and still we are seeing their material suffering. The reason is, so here he is giving tasmat phalannapi vrukshah prayashah kala eva phalati itivat niraparadeshu prasidadapi nama swaprasadam kala eva prakashayet. That means every tree, mango tree is there. Mango tree definitely will give the mangoes. So, but now it is the rainy season. You are not seeing any mangoes on the tree. It doesn't mean that what? Mango tree will not give the mangoes. Will you say like that? Can you conclude this? Mango tree never give the mangoes because I am not seeing the mangoes now. So no. So even a mango tree is giving the fruits whenever it get the time. So prayasha kala eva phalati iti vat niraparada. That means even someone is not offender. So prasidadapi nama. So that means is holy name is not having any angry with him, but is pleased. Is pleased with him, but still holy name will give its result. That means getting tears. These are all the results of the influence of the holy name. So this will come. This will be sanctioned to the devotee when time comes. When time comes. So prasadam kala eva prakashet. When in the due course of the time it will so manifest those results in that devotee, that holy name. Okay. So that's why in some cases it is possible. Actually, that's why we should be careful. In the pure devotees case, if some kind of if you see some kind of the material suffering, or otherwise if you don't see some symptoms of the prema, don't undermine. They are also having these offenses, and if you conclude them as offenders, then you are offending them. You're understanding? You didn't understand. Okay. If any pure devotee and he is undergoing the material suffering, but based upon the philosophy what you learned till now in the mādhurya kādambinī, suffering is there means, so still he is a devotee doing the japa, but material suffering is happening, means what? Oh, he offended so many things so many times in the previously. That's why now he is getting this suffering, because his previous prarabdha karma is not destroyed because of the so many offenses. 10, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, he is doing the japa every day, coming to the Mangala Arati. What is the use? And he is so offended. I think he did a lot of offenses, or otherwise living inside, and that's why so he got the disease now, and he is suffering. His prarabdha also is not destroyed. I think he is lesser than the anartha nivritti is in the bhajan kriya. So like that, can you conclude? Then you are offending. So that's why what here Vishwanath is warning us. Even sometimes you might be seeing some sinful tendencies also in that person. And also, and it doesn't mean that they have the offenses and not manifesting the love. Or otherwise they might be having some suffering. It can happen.
Prabhuji, one question, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Rukmini Mohan Prabhu is raising hand first.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, like in case of Pandavas,
Yeah.
I don't remember, but in the Purushottam Vrat Mahatmya from Padma Purana, so there are some incidences when Vyasadeva has mentioned in other Puranas some of the reasons of their suffering.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's what these people are quoting. So how to answer them? Like here we got that, but it's a gradual development of philosophy by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur.
No.
So, and at the same time, we know that in other places when these things are mentioned, how to reconcile them.
Yeah, wait, bro. I will come for that actually. Pandavas case will be coming. So now just I want to anyway at that I will answer, Prabhu. That is coming end of this only. Mataji, what you are asking?
You said that when we see that a pure devotee is suffering, we
Yeah.
should not consider that they have some prarabdha karma. So the point is that they don't have any prarabdha. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying? They don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
any prarabdha, they don't have any offenses.
Yes.
Still they are suffering.
That is the, for the example we gave the Pandavas.
Yeah.
Okay. And two things we are discussing here. And someone is also not having the offenses, but still we don't see, even after doing the everyday, that means chanting of the holy names, but there is no manifestation of symptoms of the love in him, and also some sinful tendencies also. So can we say he is having the aparadhas? Can you conclude?
If he's performing sinful activities and also chanting, and there is no prema. Yeah, that's how usually we will think. Maybe some
Usually
offenses.
think, but sometimes, but it's not necessary.
Yeah.
It is not necessary. Example is Ajamil. So that's why if we think he is offender, then we are offending unnecessarily. If that means by seeing his symptoms, and if we apply this philosophy on them, and we conclude he is having offenses, and maybe he is exceptional case and he might not be having the offenses. You're understanding my point? Yeah, that's why better apply this philosophy to our own. And yeah, there is a chance. Otherwise, someone is your well-wisher and who submitted to you, and to him, we should apply this. Yes, you have to do more chanting, and we can say. But some unknown case, so you have to, if there is a scope to analyze this also, like this also, so better. That means that's why Vishwanath Thakur and Jiva Goswami, in the case of the Bharata Maharaj also, they saw the symptoms. What is that? All of a sudden, the attraction they got, the Bharata Maharaj got attraction towards the deer. And there, Jiva Goswami is giving the two views actually. It can be the, that means previous offenses of the Bharata Maharaj, and that's why he got the attraction. Or otherwise, some people also, they say that just Lord wanted, that means some increase of his love, density of his love. So that's why he created some separation. So that is also possible. Like that. So you have better, we have to give the proper, that means chances of the explanation. But we cannot fully conclude is the offender.
In short, we should not judge anyone.
In short, yeah. So, but someone who is belong to you, and better, that means for him, he might, but we are not seeing, we cannot, like someone is your counselee or your disciple. So then you have to say that you have to do japa, because you might be having offenses, because that's safe side. But for others who are unknown, and we cannot go for that, whom we doesn't know clearly. Are you understanding my point?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Ramchandra.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Like I have many times heard this, like there are like some exception cases, like
Yes, yes.
sometimes we say this is a principle, but there are some exceptions.
Yes, yes.
And so
Ajamil is exceptional case.
So when we see exception which is mentioned in Shastra, so is that exception can be applied in present scenarios also? Like sometimes we say, oh, maybe it's an exceptional case. Like and one thing is that, like
In general, it is not exceptional. The exception is the exception. Ajamil is really exceptional case, and very rarely we can see. Otherwise, we are in general. That's why I'm saying, whoever is belong to us, and for all of them. So that means better to that having, that means who the offense is not happening towards them, and who is not your circle. So in that case, better not to judge he is offender, and keep the open space there. But if your society and your people, your congregation, then you will be asking them, okay, there is a good chance of so having the offenses only, then people become alert and do the serious devotion and get out from that. So that's the integral point. So the subtle point we are mentioning, he's mentioning here. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So that means he's giving the caution. Even this kind of situation also possible. So be alert. Don't apply roughly this principle everywhere and become an offender.
No, what I'm asking, Prabhu, like not really. I'm saying they're offender. Like say, for example, now we are seeing a Jamil case. He chanted the name Narayan. He was a sinful person. He was not an offender. He was a sinful person. He chanted the name Narayan and then he became purified. And after that, he was still continuing his sinful activities, like staying with the prostitute and maintaining and those kind of activities. But he's chanting, and then at the end of the life, he chanted the name Narayan, and then that's what happened. So if we cannot apply this in today's scenario, that's one part is that. But person may ask why not? Like because if this is a principle, then we see nowadays a lot of politicians, they are chanting the name of Ram. They keep chanting like
no, name. Actually, you are understanding my point. I understood your point, but try to understand my point. So what I am saying, that is exceptional case. So what Ajamil's case is very exceptional case, and that's why from that exceptional case, what we should learn, whoever is not in our connection, so unknown person, so by seeing these external symptoms, immediately we should not judge. So he is offender. That is only the point. Otherwise, whoever is very close to us, and we have to give this caution only. Yes, you have to do service. You have to do the more chanting, and there is a good chance of offenses only, and we will be saying. And because Ajamil's, how can we say that means Ajamil's case are not possible in this world now? How can we say? That means did we see that that means all his past and future, what is going to happen? We didn't see, na? So how can we say he's having definitely aparadhas only? Maybe Lord is considering, because why Ajamil first of all, we should understand why Ajamil in case it happened. That means his sins are destroyed by the holy name when he took at the Namakarana Samskara. Still he is having so he didn't manifest any prema even after chanting the Narayana's names. What is the reason? First of all, you people should ask this question. Why Lord did like this? What is the reason?
We are assuming that because it's not mentioned anywhere, or is an assumption, or like maybe it was like why Sukhdev Goswami knows, maybe my understanding, Sukhdev Goswami knows past, present, and future of Ajamil. So that's why he knows that he's not an aparadhi. Like for general people, we don't know, so we really cannot conclude about that. So Sukhdev Goswami knows. That's why he's quoting this example.
Yeah. So.
No, what I'm saying, because Ajamil is mentioned in Bhagavatam, that's an exception, not a principle, like a general principle. What I'm understanding is because in exception case. So then exceptional case means like we cannot use that for general public, because we don't know about their past, present, and future, what happened. But
no,
because
we don't know, no, Prabhu. If we don't know means Ajamil is also possible, na? How can you say?
Ajamil is also possible, yes.
We don't know, only you are saying that means we are confirming that everyone is having the aparadhas. Because we don't know, na? They might be sinful, but how can you say everyone is having offenses?
No, I'm not saying like, but in general principle, like if he sees,
in general, general principle already explained, but exceptional, even in the exceptional case also is possible. I'm saying, Prabhu, exceptional case is possible. That's why we should be understanding that exceptional case also. So we should understand, and there is a chance of this kind of sin also. Like examples, for example, someone's Guru Maharaj is there, and he is very elevated devotee, but we are seeing the suffering in his life.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is Kali Yuga, and now yes, these people are that means having the aparadhas only, and he is also a sinful person. He didn't purify his sins, and that's why he is suffering. Can you say? If you don't have this scope of this exceptional case, If you don't know this exceptional case, then how the one will get faith then to Guru then? My Guru itself is not able to cross this basic, that means material suffering means prarabdha. Prarabdha is destroyed even before the ruchi itself. Even prarabdha is not destroyed, so my Guru is not elevated. Can we say that then? So that is the point I'm explaining here. So there are exceptional cases also possible. So we cannot judge just by this information. Yeah, yes, Madhu.
So Prabhuji, this also includes everyone, because Ajamil was not a devotee. He chanted at Namakarana, but nobody saw that, because of that chanting, because as you said, Prema was not visible. So that means anyone in the society who's not a devotee, you don't know, right? You
Yeah.
cannot judge anyone, not just devotees, but anyone in the world you cannot judge.
Yes, yes. We cannot judge. That's why we engage them in the service of the Lord, even if they are pure devotees or not pure devotees, will not have aparadas, but by doing the devotion, they will be progressing on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the safe side we should take.
Yes, generally when we say no blaspheming devotees, that's a great aparad. But there can be, according to this principle, people who are not manifesting the signs of a devotee, they may also be, you don't know.
They may not have the aparada and they chanted holy name and their sins are destroyed. It is possible. But
still
that's why, all the time we are giving the checkpoint to decide the aparadas. Jiva Goswami, what he said. After pure, that means good devotees, pure devotees association continually getting, but still they are having this kind of symptoms, then only you should say it is a cause of the aparada. You're understanding that 5 offenses, you remember?
Yes, yes. So that is within devotee circle.
Within devotee circle, yes.
Yeah. I'm talking about those who are not even devotees out,
In that case, we cannot judge also actually.
Amongst them also there can be a devotee, but because he's not even not chanting or, but you never know, like Ajamil's case.
Yeah. There is a possibility there, yes. So that's why now I'm saying what we should understand that I don't think it's a very difficult point actually. So the point is, so in general, so this is happening. That means if we have that means the symptoms of prema are not developed, and also we are not getting that means the influence of the devotional activities, then we should understand that there are offenses. That's a general principle. But there is some exceptional case. This is also possible. What is there actually in this? And like if my Guru Maharaj is having some kind of material suffering, like Prabhupada is having material suffering at the end of his life, what should I say then about this? Is having prarabdha?
No.
So that's why there is exceptional cases are there. That what is the reason I will be discussing here. So why in the case of Ajamil, so this love immediately is not manifested. So why that means by first holy name itself, all the sins are destroyed. Then why the love is not manifested in him? That means when next time he's chanting the Narayana's names, at that time he should get in the love. So the symptoms of the love should come. And also at least he should be out from this papa sinful life. Then here he is saying that Purva Abhyasat Kriyamanaha Paparashirapi Utkata Damstrauraga Damsha Iva Akinchit Karaha Eva. Purva Abhyasat, because he was having the practice of doing the sinful activities in the past, and even avidya, everything is destroyed because of that habit actually. So he did the so much sin after the first holy name, but what holy name is doing? Holy name is destroying the sins whatever done previous and present and future also. whatever Ajamila is going to do future sins, those are also destroyed already. That means even if he does sin, then there will be no reaction. There will be no reaction. So like example, like a snake is there, and if we take out the leaks, there's poison from their teeth, then even if they bite it, there will be no poison. Similarly, eva akinchit karaha eva. Next, so roga shokadi dukkhamapi na prarabdha phalam. So whatever we see in the pure devotee's case, so roga shokadi dukkham, that means they are having the some kind of suffering actually in their life. Like example, Srila Prabhupada, or otherwise our great gurus, they are really very pure devotees. So then we are seeing some kind of roga shoka. That is also not due to prarabdha. That's dukkhamapi na prarabdha phalam. That is not a result of the prarabdha karma. What is that then? Yasyaham anugruhnami harishye taddanam shanai tato adhanam tejatyantyasya swajana dukkha dukkhitam. So Lord is going to bless anyone. So then what he will be doing? Blessing him. Harishye taddanam shanaihi. I will be, that means Lord is saying, he will be taking out his wealth. He will be making him poor. And also swajanaha dukkha dukkhitam. And also he will be getting the materially pain. Nirdhanatva maharogo madanagraha lakshanam. So Lord's blessings, what are the symptoms of the Lord's blessings? Nirdhanatvam, that means becoming poor, and maharogaha, that means great disease. These are the symptoms of the Lord's mercy. Like that, Lord said already previously. So why he is happening this kind of, that means making poor and giving this kind of suffering? Because swabhakta hitakarinaha tadiya dainyotkantādi vardhana chaturena bhagavata eva dukkasya diyamanatvat karma phalatva bhavan na prarabdhatva iti yahu. Because why he is giving that kind of suffering? Because tadiya dainyotkantādi vardhanaya, because to increase the dinata in them. By the suffering, what will happen? It is always reminding. That means, so they will be understanding, they will be always feeling like in the Gajendra's case, because of that heavy suffering from that crocodile, dinata it came. So these are all the external qualities, but that will be helping the devotion actually. So they will not be illusioned actually in this material opulences. So that is why he will keep in his devotees in such a condition, Lord, so that they will be always remembering Krishna. They will be always remembering him. So that's why even Kunti Maharani is asking, keep always us in the difficulties, so that we can easily remember you. Yeah, that is devotees also, they desire. Dinata, to increase the humility, and also utkantata otherwise. That means eagerness, to increase the eagerness. For that purpose, so he will be giving the poverty and great diseases. That is a symptom of the mercy of the Lord. How many want symptom? That is mercy of the Lord. Gopijan Prabhu. Yes.
Prabhuji, I was relating when Mataji was asking question. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that even a person who called one time also is a Vaishnava. So we should be careful thinking other person We never know when he chanted with that one name. Maybe in front of us, he may not have chanted.
Yeah, that's why devotees always maintain Pranadapi Nityani. By this, what will happen? So there is a good chance to, not to commit offenses. But whenever we make plans, so and also should be how to decide, that is also there. We can confirm also. When that devotee is completely properly given association, lot of time is exposed to the devotional activities, but still we are not seeing. And he also didn't do the practice, and then we can understand the symptoms, and then we can ask them to do more chanting. But
But
in
also I have a doubt, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
When we say the pure devotee are being given the distresses so that he will remember Dainyot Utkanta,
Hmm.
When he's a pure devotee, why is it necessary for him to be put into problems? I mean, actually, he's chanting only, he's remembering only, he's a pure devotee. Then what
Because-
exactly that is causing? It's not that a pure devotee remembers for some time and then sometime he keeps it for his activities. When we say pure devotee, 24 hours he's remembering the Lord. Then such a pure devotee who is 24 hours remembering, why the Lord has to create the problems? Like when you say about the gurus of ISKCON or somebody, they are actually they are 24 hours they are engaged. Then why is it necessary for the Lord to create a situation that, I mean, the statement I'm not able to understand. When you say, when we call pure devotee, is already remembering. Like Pandavas. It doesn't mean that they remembered they are devotees of Krishna just because they have gone through these pains. Otherwise also they are devotees. I mean, I'm sorry, maybe I'm just expressing, maybe I may be wrong.
Swabhakta Hitakarina. This is Prabhu. Dukkasya Diyamanatvat. Why Lord himself is giving this dukkha? Even Prabhupada's case. So you might be seeing at the end of his life how in the last 1977, the body, how it was, and he was having some kind of superficial suffering in his body. So they can, many reasons, Lord can be setting example how in these difficulties also, how they are remembering Krishna. He can set example for that. And also that is really helpful. That means that's condition actually. So one who is not having any offenses, but just still Lord will be giving even not having the prarabdha and also not offenses, so that he may not reach to the highest prema stage, but that prema didn't reach to the ghadata actually. Ghadata is not there, but still he is not having any offenses. So, but still that to just increase, that means he may not get back once again some unfavorable condition, maybe. So much opulence all of sudden and coming, and maybe it may cause destruction, unnecessary destruction, entanglement.
So it's something like a protection.
It's like a protection wall, building a protection wall. Yeah, of course there is no problem, but still we know that that village is very safe, but still we close the door. We have no security guard is there, but still we close our door and keep a lock. Okay. So any questions on this? Master, yes.
Prabhuji, it is not question, but what Gopijan Prabhu asked, and what you said, I believe more of that only. Like the first point, that it is setting example, because Lord only intervene in the life of pure devotees directly. Others generally goes through their karma and all. So when we see that Prabhupada has also suffered so much, and other devotees are also suffering, then obviously we become very humble that who am I? Like when some suffering is coming in my life, and it is not that I can think that, oh, I am chanting 16 rounds, so why this is coming? So that
And also, yeah, Prabhupada actually, see how he is so serious in the you see in the last minute also he is translating.
yes, yeah,
In the
that
mind, he was translating Bhagavatam.
amazing.
So that is really he was speaking, and so his consciousness how he is maintained actually,
Yes.
and fully that is the really in at any even in that situation also one can remember Krishna, or in that kind of suffering. That's really amazing actually. Those videos are available also on the YouTube, so we can understand that is the power of the devotion. It can make us even in such a suffering Krishna's names, so that we can get. And also sometimes pure devotees they in another place I read actually. So prarabdha karma, even bhakti can destroy, but still they don't want their bhakti to destroy that. No, 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 please don't destroy you. And let us, because I only did na prarabdha means already I accumulated that, and let me suffer that. And that also they can, that's why also they will be accepting voluntarily and receiving those. And or otherwise, Lord is just making a fencing like this. That means so that they will be their dhinata will increase and they will be intense, but that means ghadata will increase. That means they have love and that will become even more. That means very tivrata will increase. When you get
Yes.
little pain, immediately Krishna will remember, oh Krishna, my God. That means that is a general, that whenever in this physical world that is possible actually. In the spiritual world, it is not there. It will not be there. But in the material world, it is possible.
Yeah, then
So that is also actually what Vishwanath Thakur is saying. Yes, definitely Gadata will increase.
yeah. Because Dhanita will increase like anything.
Yeah, the Dainita will increase like anything. And also by Utkantata also will increase when he disappears. That means sometimes he is disappearing in front of from the Radharani's association also is disappearing from the gopis. It doesn't mean that they are now missing the Lord, means their devotion is having the weak. It's not like that.
Correct. Yeah, this point is very.
Utkantata, just to increase their Utkantata.
And Prabhuji, in case of gurus, so it is also said not that because disciples like sometimes sin and all.
I don't know, bro. I didn't read that till now.
Is it?
Maybe.
Because that is very
So
sin is gone like.
they destroy, I read, but they will suffer for that. I didn't.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
That is also maybe, but I am not exactly exactly. That means they are suffering. That means I read this much. They are destroying the disciples' sin and also obstacles, offenses, but that is which are very major. But they are suffering for those. Maybe actually
Logically, it doesn't look like, because they are pure devotees, they can take everyone suffering, but they have to suffer for. Logically, also it doesn't look like. But this is quite famous in ISKCON, so I asked this. But anyway, thank you.
but who are not really qualified to that level, guru, and but he becomes just guru, but he is having his own prarabdha, and he is accepting the others' prarabdha. So otherwise, prarabdha karma all they are destroyed like anything, like just like a big pile of the cotton. Just that's nothing. By the influence of bhakti, immediately they are destroyed. Finish.
Then mainly is aparadha, which remains.
So, but who are having the prarabdha already and become guru, and he is accepting others, then maybe he may suffer.
Yes.
Because that is adding to him actually. Maybe that means whose offenses are there and whose prarabdha is not destroyed, but he forcefully is becoming guru. That means otherwise he want to accept, then accept.
But Prabhuji, guru means this is also there, no? That in sampradaya, if they are within the sampradaya and they are given this responsibility and he is having a guru, then he can become a guru, no? Like, or there are other qualifications like Guru Ashtakam qualifications and all we can think.
Yeah, so, nectar of instruction. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, so the Lord's intervention and his mercy of giving poverty and disease, this is only applicable to devotees in prema stage because they don't have any karma and any aparadhas.
Even Prabhupada's case also we are seeing, and that means the Lord's mercy is there in any many stages. So, I mean, only prema stage is not said actually.
But only at that stage, everything is removed, right? All aparadhas are removed.
Yeah, yeah. We can say that this is simply because of the Lord's mercy only. But in our case, whose another are not purified and karma is not fully destroyed and getting the results, then we cannot assure that it is only because of the Lord's pure intention, or otherwise Lord is giving in the others case also Lord is giving, but just so he wants to remove that kind of tendencies. So for that he might be giving also. That is
So
also possible.
at the end of the day, I see that this is just to watch myself, not really to see where that person is, because it's hard to tell, is the person
Yes,
in prema
yes,
or
yes, yes.
aparadhas are
Yeah.
there or not there. I cannot judge.
Yeah. It's for the only self application, or otherwise for us, that means who are our followers, for them we can apply just for the sake of benefiting them.
Yeah.
Always we take the worst condition only, so to get the better solution we give the treatment thinking that it is in the case is worst, and give the treatment, that kind of intense treatment. That's good.
No, but like a devotee, like a contemporary devotee who gets a serious disease or something, so it should be understood that it is coming by the special mercy of the Lord to increase his Dainyata and Utkantata.
Yeah. In others case definitely, but if someone is your disciple and you are explaining, and then what you'll be suggesting for them? Oh, you are pure devotee and you are nice and his Lord is giving just for intense. That you will not say, no, actually.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be definitely saying that, yeah, you have to progress actually. You need to get remove your offenses. That only will say, no? That's the point I'm saying.
Yeah. At that stage when someone's actually suffering, I don't think I will say you have to. I'll probably try to tell some Krishna Katha or chant or something.
Yeah,
like
definitely. So, but our thinking planning is like that only. No? That means saying means, so we'll make them to chant.
That. Yeah.
That's the point actually.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Rukmini Mohan.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, regarding that case of the suffering of the spiritual master, I read that in the book Perfect Question, Perfect Answer. There was a conversation between Shyam Sundar Prabhu and Prabhupada.
Yeah.
And then there he mentions clearly that Krishna says, he quotes 18.66. And he says when Krishna takes up all the reactions, it's he can take any amount of reaction. But like when spiritual master takes, then he has to take responsibility of the sinful reactions of the devotees. So living entity can't do it to the extent of Krishna. So he explains that in that manner that sometimes spiritual master to become a guru is difficult, and he suffers due to his disciples' activities.
Acha, ठीक.
So I was like the way. So in that case, like he is taking up the karma, and because of that, he is suffering because of disciples' prarabdha, right?
Yeah. But he is taking that for the, but his guru will take now that.
So that's
Because
why I
he's
was not
acting
able to
on behalf
understand.
of, then his guru, then Krishna only will take. Because guru never think that I am the deliverer and my guru is delivering. Only like that, he will giving that only. Na? Then that sin also should go to the transfer to the. That means his guru, why he will think. So my disciple should suffer and credit should give to me. Then his guru also will think, na, actually. Oh, my disciple should not suffer.
No, but this is not mentioned, Prabhuji, anywhere.
then what is the meaning of Guru Parampara?
That's the reason they also say that they should not make too many disciples. Because of such reasons, it is mentioned.
Yeah, maybe so. I want Prabhu more clear. So, exactly like that, I didn't read this statement actually. This disciple suffering guru is suffering. He's getting suffering.
I found it. If you want, I can share the screen so I can get
Yeah. He sent me, Prabhu. Yeah. Definitely.
Shall I send
I
you
will
on
get...
the WhatsApp, or shall I have opened it in the database? If you want, I can share the screen also.
Yeah, we can see later actually. Okay, no problem. I can take it because I am not sure actually. I'm saying that only. I cannot say that completely. Yeah, it's not. And also, yes. So just because till now in the Bhakti Sandarbha, Piri Sandarbha, anyway, so this he didn't mention maybe or any other books. And anyway, definitely if it is Prabhupada wrote and there somewhere some link will be there. So that, and also in the Bhagavatam, like that, can we get any case? In which case study it was discussed? So like that. That is there, then it will be more good actually. So okay. It's any questions on this? Is clear?
Yes, Prabhuji, very clear. Actually, it is made me more clear. Your discussion with her Sarjana Bhakti Mataji made things clear that we should not judge others, but when it comes to us, we should think that it is because of our Radha. Otherwise, a person like me, if I get suffering, I will think, oh, I'm become pure devotee and the Lord is.
But one more point is what? So if even in others case also someone who is exposed to the lot of a good devotees association, but still he is developing this, so better than he has to understood. He has to take the call that there are offenses only, so let me work out on those offenses. So that is the thing. Yes, bro. Next, that is the third vrishti is over. Now fourth. Another 10-15 minutes I will take. 10 minutes. It's okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Okay, everyone is okay or not?
Yes.
Okay, Prabhu. I need your blessings and permission, otherwise.
No, Prabhuji, you have to give order.
No. So now we have 30%, Prabhu. From here onwards, we have, so 30% syllabus is remaining. 70 is over. Only 30% is there. So here, what he is saying, the fourth vrishti, the fourth shower of the nectar. Atha purvam ya anishtita nishtita iti vidokta bhajan kriya tasyah prathama shadvida lakshita. So tatah ditiyam alikshitattvena anardha nivrittihi prakranta yaduttam. So now, what he is saying here, we have seen in bhajan kriya, if you all remember, two types of bhajan kriya is there. Anishtita, that means unsteady worshipping of the devotional service, bhajana, unsteady bhajan and steady bhajan. So unsteady bhajan, we have 6 types. You all remember. What are those? Unsteady. Can anyone say? We have 6 people, and one will say. 6 devotees are there, one each. Mataji, start.
Utsahamayi, Prabhuji.
In that, what happens? Just one quickly, if you also give the one line definition, it will be good.
Yeah, the devotee feels like it's very easy. Bhakti is very easy and he's advancing very nicely and it's not difficult at all.
Like example, a child, whenever he goes to the starting to the going to the school, so he will be, so in the first day he'll be seeing the whole syllabus and thinking, oh, enthusiastically, I can do very easy this is, and he'll be showing so much enthusiasm. So in studying, the same way devotee also, when he was coming in association of the devotees and starting the devotion, the bhajan, so he'll be showing a lot of enthusiasm. So utsaham. Next, second one is
Ghanatarala.
who will be raising hand. It will be easy for me to. Okay, Gopi Janala, bro.
Ghanatarala.
Yes, bro. What happens in this?
Sometimes high, sometimes down, sinusoidal wave.
Yeah, sometimes high and down, because after that he's going to some topics, the student will be feeling so difficulty in the topic, and then he'll be losing interest. So, and he may not studying for the few days, and after that once again he's getting the interest. So once that is crossed, so like this you will be seeing even in the bhajan also, sometimes we feel difficulties because of the presence of the anarthas, and not able to do not able to get the taste, and not able to practice also. So, and sometimes practicing, sometimes not practicing is known as Ganatarla. Then third one, Maseva Prabhu.
Prabhuji, viewed vikalpa.
Now, Vyuda Vikalpa, what happens in this?
He's doing a lot of planning, that I will do like this, I will do like that.
Yeah, I will do that means I may make devotees of my family members and go to stay with them and do bhajan, or otherwise, no, this is a material world is so miserable and wife and children are attraction. Shall I go to the Vrindavan and do that? Like that, he's bringing the many supporting statements from the Shastra, and so not able to fix his plan actually, and for the bhajan, and keep on searching out. So this plan, that plan, and so that is Vyuda Vikalpa. Fourth one, yes, Rukmini Mohan Prabhu.
Vishaya Sangara.
Vishaya Sangara. What
So,
means?
he is confident that he wants to do bhakti and take up the right path. Now he is facing the challenges of anarthas, getting stuck into the sense gratification cycle and falling down again and again.
Yeah, he's fighting with the Vishaya. Yeah,
Vishaya.
because since anarthas are there, attraction for the material object still is there. So he'll be fighting with them. So sometimes he will be controlling himself, and sometimes he's not able to control. So this is like this fighting, winning and losing. So towards the material desires. So then this is known as Vishaya Sangara. Yeah, next one, Ramcharan Prabhu. Fifth one.
Niyama Kshama Prabhu.
Niyama Kshama. What is this?
A devotee takes vows like, I'm going to do this much, I'm going to do this much, like today I'm going to do this much, and then he tried every day.
I can do this many malas, this many rounds of japa. I mean, to do this many pradakshanas, and I may do this much reading. So like that, he'll be planning, but not able to implement that. So this is a Niyama Kshama. This is the fifth. And sixth one I will tell, that's that's Tarangarangini. So in this, what happens? So in the Tarangarangini, so you'll be getting the results of the bhakti, and because that means sometimes name, fame, and his this bhakti is like a in that tides, in that waves. So it is object on that waves. So sometimes bhakti, because of wave is increasing, so then bhakti also height is increased, and is a falling wave. So then which is lying in that waves. So that bhakti also is falling down. So like this. So it is that's a Tarangarangini. This is the sixth stage. So like this, we can have the 6 different stages in the unstable bhajan. So next we are going to see. So
Prabhuji,
then after that, we
happens?
are discussing the anartha nivritti. Yeah.
Prabhuji, it can be possible that a person like me, all the 6 will be there, are there.
No. No, Utsahamai and Ganatarala is not possible actually at same place. Yeah, bro, it is sequential actually. Because
but for me, everything is there, Prabhuji. Sometimes.
Maybe you have to tell to Vishwanath Chakri Thakur, you will add some point. Yes, Mataji.
Tarangarangini and Ghanatarala look similar, only the cause is different, right?
Yeah. Result, he Bhaktitta Anardas actually he'll be especially Bhaktitta Anardas are there actually because of Bhaktitta Anardas, so he will be getting attraction and deviations. That's the point actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then after that, Anardha Nivritti, then next Nishta. This will happen. So here now Vishwanath Thakur is clarifying what Tata Dvitiya Alakshitatvena Anardha Nivritti Prakranta. So next one after the first Bhajana Kriya, so Anardha Nivritti, and then after that Nishta. Why Anardha Nivritti is kept here? After Bhajana Kriya, Anardha Nivritti is kept. Because we have the proof from the Srimad Bhagavatam. What is that proof? Shrunvatam Swakatah Krishna Punyashravana Kirtanaha Rudyantasto Hyabhadrani Vidunoti Suhrusatam Nashtapraya Shabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. You all know the first sloka meaning. That means when anyone hear the Lord's holy names, Punyashravana Kirtana, Rudyantasto Hyabhadrani Vidunoti Suhrusatam. That means, so whatever the offenses are there in his, that means whatever the abhadrani means, so contamination is there in his heart, so that is cleaned actually. So that is cleaned. Yeah. So those are all clean. And then after that only he will be getting the Nishta. So what is happening? Sundatam, Sakatam, Krishna, Punyashravana Kirtan means it is bhajan. That means hearing the Krishna's names. Then after that, what is happening? Abhadrani, Vidunoti Abhadrani. That means clearing the anarthas, clearing the contamination. Then after that, what is happening? The Naistiki. If you see my cursor, this is Naistiki. So that means bhajan, then Anardha Nivritti and Nishta. Yeah. So any question on this? Yes, Mahaseva.
Prabhuji, I have a question little bit related to the previous, because Anartha Nivritti, we also have like heard basically Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Madamo, Matsarya. This
Yes,
is
bro.
called in, but that kind of thing we have not looked very elaborately in Anartha Nivritti here.
No, bro. We Sukrutot Anartha, Dushkritot Anartha, there we discussed already those.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe if we missed, then you can hear that class actually. So we discussed that only first. This Anardha Nivritti, quite long class, and there we discussed that Dushkritot Anartha.
I also missed.
Yeah, Prabhu. In between, you were absent for 1 or 2 classes, I think. Yeah. So yeah, this is the sequence. That's why. Yes, Prabhu.
That is quite easy to overcome. No? That is what we conclude.
Yeah, that is very easy. So that in the Nishta state itself, those will be going. And that means in the Bhajana Kriya, if you see the table, our table, that Anardha Nivritti table, if you see, there, these Sukruta, Dushkruta, those maximum will go in the most of Bhajana Kriya itself, they will go most. Sukrutota, Dushkrutota, that means Kama, Krodha, Lobha, all these. And in the Nishta, almost everything will go out. When we do Bhajana Kriya, so that is Anardha Nivritti starts. So in that Anardha Nivritti only most of the things are out. Prayaki means 90% will go. So my screen is visible or not?
No, Prabhuji. Sharing is stopped actually.
Acha.
Yes, now it is coming. Yes, now we can see.
Yes, Prabhu. So this is the Nishta. That's why Nishta we kept. And Nishta and Bhajana Kriya, there is Anardha Nivritti. This Bhagavatam sloka is a proof. Okay, next. tayor madhye eva anarthanam nivrittir ukta. So that means between the vajana kriya and between the nishtha, anartha nivritti is said. So that's why we are discussing anartha nivritti here. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam ityatra tesham kaschana bhag. That means nashta prayeshu in the sloka, if you see, so to reach the nishtha, one is not purifying all the contamination. No, prayaha means mostly, most of the contamination is over. That means before reaching, that means even after reaching the nishtha, so one will be having the still contamination in the heart. That is the point actually. This is, so that's in the nishtha stage. Almost all, that means in the nishtha, praya means almost, that means sukritota, dushkritota are finished. Bhaktitva is also completely finished. But aparadho tanartha is there still. That means by bahudeshvartini means maximum is cleaned, but not the complete, almost, not almost, maximum only, most of the part. So that's why praya, nashta prayeshu, that means that word praya, that means almost, is used because sukruta, dushkruta, bhaktitva, anarthas are finished, but aparadho, tanarthas are still here remaining. So then that stage is known as nishtha stage. Okay. Atayeva krama praptataya nishtita. So then what will happen? So in the, that means after that another nivritti. So that means steadiness, one will get the steadiness in the bhajana kriya. So that's why this is the second anishtiki, nishtita bhakti. This is. Okay, I will stop here because too much stretching is not good. So I have to cover, but still many things are there. Okay. Okay. Shall we stop here? Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have a general question for you.
Yeah.
I just observed it a few times and I would like to, if you don't take offense, I would like to ask you this question.
Yes, Mataji.
When a statement is made by either Jiva Goswami or Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur or even Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because we saw in one case, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur apparently gave a statement which was different from, I forget the exact case now, different from what was said by previous acharyas. And there it was explained that the most recent acharya's statement takes precedence over the previous acharyas.
Yes,
I think, yeah. So then my question is, when something is stated by Srila Prabhupada, why do you always hesitate to just take it as it is? Instead, you look for some proof from previous acharyas or from somewhere else. I have that question, Prabhuji.
Yeah. The reason, Mataji, so the books actually, Prabhupada didn't check back again when he wrote. And so at the time, the disciples of the Prabhupada who are very new, and they started editing actually. And the editing time, so who has problem of having the problem of in the understanding the language, and also who didn't study the total Bhagavatam, because they are started editing the first canto onwards, because other cantos they are not translated also. You're understanding?
Yeah.
So and Prabhupada didn't get the time to go by every line by line and edit, see their editing and finalizing. This is also not practical also.
You think he would not have done that before actually publishing the book?
That means it's not practical that, because every day he's new thing he's translating, and also each and every line checking and seeing the syntactical perfection, and also the wording, and also the sections. It's not practical, because Prabhupada also said, so same point asked with the Bhakti Vikas Maharaj actually. So Bhakti Vikas Maharaj also find the, so that today also we were discussing actually. In the Bhakti Rasam Sindhu also we find so many places, some irregularities actually. So then Maharaj is, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, you can understand. So he is such a staunch follower of the Prabhupada actually. It's not everyone, but you can see also in his, so what he, there's some section that's the Rajasuya Yaga Yudhishthira Maharaj is doing. There Prabhupada was writing horse will be left over, and then something like that discussion, that means he wrote, which happens in the Aswamedha, that's Aswamedha Yaga, not in the Rajasuya. But see, the description is should be given for the Rajasuya Yaga, but he gave the Aswamedha. Then Maharaj asked the devotee to go and check in the Aswamedha Parva. There he checked, so nowhere is mentioned like that. In Mahabharata also they verified. In Rajasuya Yaga, so nobody will leave the horse actually. Only in the Aswamedha Yaga they leave the horse. So then that devotee so replied that we didn't find. Then after that he met the Maharaj personally, and he asked, so why, what should we understand? Then he said it's a mistake. It is a mistake actually. So it has to be corrected. Maharaj said directly. So some places, some technicalities, even we see some Maharajas, some Srila Prabhupada disciples also. So in the Prabhupada's books, any technological points, something is not exactly, then that is acceptable actually. That is acceptable. And also, why I hesitate? Because of the lot of people involved, not just Prabhupada is completely whole and soul book he did. That means many others also involved in this. You're understanding? So
Yes.
that's why I have to say it's a Prabhupada's mistake. And otherwise, why I have to see? So that means editors are there, and typewriters are there. A lot of other typing people are different, and after that, in the other language they translate other people. Then a lot of people are involved now in this. But if you see Rupa Goswami's book, Jiva Goswami himself edited actually that, sitting and he edited all the Bhakti Rasamrita in the book. He himself edited that. And Jiva Goswami's books also very thoroughly edited, but still there is different copies. If you see the Bengal copy and Vrindavan copy, both are different actually. Some sections are, we are seeing very differently. Even the Bhakti, in the Mādhurya Kādambinī also, so some sentences are looking very strange actually. They are strange means that now you see, as much as you read the Sanskrit, so sometimes you will be understanding is really the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's line, because he cannot form this kind of syntax. So some kind of we'll be getting the maybe we need to go for the more because you see whatever I am seeing the Sanskrit, that is already someone typed and kept in front of me. But if you see manuscripts, if you bring the 10 manuscripts from the 10 different places, definitely you'll be seeing a difference. Then how to finalize this?
Yeah.
Then we need to understand the other acharyas mood and whole sampradaya mood, and then finalize, make the critical edition, and then finally come to the conclusion. So that's why, because many people writing manuscripts, and because human errors may enter into there also, no? They may change the word and this, that's why. So that is the reason, that's why I hesitate means, so I say because many people are involved here. So, but many times I say Prabhupada just said in this lecture, Prabhupada said in this lecture, I quote actually, you might be observing that.
Yes.
So because I'm hearing his voice actually directly. So there I feel, yes, Prabhupada is saying voice, yes. Prabhupada's mood is this, Prabhupada said like this in this lecture. So I don't undermine the books, but the thing is, if you see, Prabhupada also directly Jayadvaita Maharaj, one time he is in the glory, he is saying actually in the glorification he is saying. So what he is saying, he is sharing his experience with the Prabhupada. So what is that? Prabhupada, he asked Prabhupada, So Prabhupada, we are editing your books. Some places we are seeing you are not translating half sloka, and sometimes you are giving some different meaning to the words, which we are not finding anywhere, and sometimes so this kind of things we are seeing some kind of errors actually in your translation. So, but you are the spiritual man, and how to understand this?
Mhm.
He asked directly.
That's good.
That's good, na, actually. Then
Yeah.
Prabhupada said, what is this? So can you, that means pratislokam abaddavatyapi. That means, so that is a tadvag visargo janataga viplo. Pratislokam abaddavatyapi. That means you cannot expect the material perfection in the material skills or perfection in the spiritual man. The spiritual perfection means not material, so-called material perfection or the material sarvagnata. Spiritual perfection means so how much he is expert in delivering the people and preaching Krishna consciousness to the people. That is the perfection. Prabhupada says there. You can find that. I will send that Mara's glorification. So he was sharing that file actually. So I will try
also
to
heard
find
that.
it. Yeah.
I also heard the same thing from Jayadvaita Maharaj.
Yeah. So this is the point, Mataji. So that's why I sometimes hesitate here. So because of this, so some because I'm studying the Prabhupada purports every day. I study because I teach 6 hours, 5 hours. So every day I undergo so many lines and some grammar mistakes, and that means Sanskrit grammar. So is not fully followed, and line, and sometimes purport is coming from the previous sloka to this sloka, and sometimes points are missing, or explanation is differently going. So some irregularities I am seeing it, like in the Raganuga Bhakti Bhakti Sindhu. That means the Vrindavan people they are doing the Raganuga Bhakti, and following the Vrindavan Vasis is Raganuga Bhakta. You are seeing
Yeah.
so how it is actually. It's not that thing actually. Vrindavan devotees, Vrindavan Vasis, they are doing the Vrajavasis, they are doing the Ragatmika Bhakti.
Yeah.
So that's why that kind of irregular, because at that time the people who are hearing Bhakti Rasam Sindhu, maybe what they heard, because Prabhupada in another place clearly is writing what is Raganuga Bhakti, following the Ragatmika Bhakti. In the Bhagavatam we saw so many places, but why here it is like this? The Prabhupada definitely knows. So maybe some hearing, or because what is happening at that time, dictaphone they used. So every day using the same dictaphone. They don't have memory like now we have SDD, this is that memories. But at that time, very less memory devices they were having. So then what they were doing every day, dictaphone, Prabhupada was recording, and they are hearing those and transcribing immediately and cleaning and giving the same thing. So at that time they are hearing, keeping their buds and earbuds and hearing, and they wrote and they transcribed that.
Mm.
And after original voice is not stored.
Mm.
I heard actually. I tried in that area. Original voice is not heard, and then but transcriptions are there. So that I don't undermine our devotees' activities, but there is sometimes chances are, if we, that's why if we do cross check from all the angles, then any doubt in some section, then okay, then we can finalize, yes, this is the thing.
Yeah. One more point, Prabhuji. What if somebody was personally instructed by Prabhupada, and if you hear from them that this is what Prabhupada said, will that have weight or no?
Definitely we have weight. So we can give the weight for their words. Prabhupada said this, and
To them
but how
personally.
much they are loyal, we like they are also in the different levels, na? So can we say that means sadhu, guru, sadhu, shastra. So that's why if you hear from the sadhu, it should match with the guru and the shastra also. Triangle check will do, that's why.
Yeah, but some things you don't find in Shastra, and you said Acharya makes adjustments according to time, place, and
Yeah,
circumstance.
Acharya will not change the principles, Mataji. The primary principles he cannot change. Even Acharya cannot change. Like you see in the case of the guru, that suffering, that's a primary principle that nobody can change. But he can change the way of practice. Maybe 64 rounds he can bring to the 16 rounds, and he can So adjust these principles. But Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So aparadas are the cause for not manifesting the glories of the bhakti. So such a principles nobody can change.
Like in the Western countries, Prabhupada introduced Mataji's doing,
Oh, those
puja.
are all okay. So those are all very secondary principles.
Yeah, so
That's
that
a
is,
very minute. It's nothing actually. So they are very simple principles.
so when instructions are given by Prabhupada to devotees, and as the next generation, because we don't have any proof from books, if we just accept what Prabhupada has instructed, that's okay, right? Because we
Yeah,
don't
that-
have any discourse.
yeah, that's why Prabhu, that's why Mataji. So we what we have to have so constructive steps actually we should. So if some step is going to destroy the Krishna conscious movement, that's why we should enough spiritual intelligence we should have. So some methods, Prabhupada also various things we can be possible. Prabhupada at the initial time he might be because of the time, place, and circumstance he adjusted that, and then after that, so he wanted what is his final goal actually. So for in the transition period, something or adjustment is done, but finally you should come to the standards. So we have to check that also actually. So you're understanding my point?
Yeah.
So that because ultimately the constructive way it should go. That means the society should increase and people should be getting benefit. And then how to decide that? Then for that we have the Mimamsa principles. We have the Shastra, how to interpret how to interpret the instructions given by any acharya or anyone. So that means we have Shruti, Lingas, Prakarana, Sthana, Samakya. These are the different lingas, different techniques to interpret the instructions.
So as a devotee in ISKCON, I wouldn't probably go into details of studying the Mimamsa philosophy and all that, right? So for me, if I simply followed the devotee who was instructed by Prabhupada, then I'm in good shape, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, provided he is
Loyal to
sincere and
Prabhupada.
sincere guru. So definitely you will be.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because
Personal following, there has never been any problem. The problem comes when you have to preach to others about that principle. Then questions come up with where do you prove this and this and that, and that is always a thing, how to prove it to the group.
that's gurus, actually teachers. That's the teachers, we have a lot of responsibility. Because if someone is digging, then if they ask and if we don't satisfy Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, and also if you say it's a secondary principle Prabhupada is saying, that also we should properly explain. Otherwise, we will be not working actually our role. So we are teachers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying that this was told by Prabhupada to this devotee and therefore we are following. Would not be sufficient to
because
tell.
that is anything is mistake he is doing towards, I mean, he's misguiding, then problem will come to him only, not to you. So if I misguide anyone in this class, if I say any wrong in philosophy and wrong thing, then I have to take that pain actually. So that's why why I'm checking, because if it is some editors had some kind of mistake if they did, and if I become lazy and thoroughly I didn't check, and from the other scriptures and Sadhu, Shastra and Guru properly, if I don't examine and simply I propagating that, then if I start giving the wrong philosophy, then there is I said that's why in the hesitation means the problem is it has to be checked. I didn't say I didn't reject or I didn't accept.
Yeah.
Because I should not misguide anyone. Maybe personally I can take anything, but for teaching purpose when it comes, then I should be very responsible actually.
Yeah, I got the point, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yeah, that is the point.
Prabhuji, sorry to interrupt. I mean, so many devotees has raised hand, because my point is already with the discussion currently going on. Prabhuji, you only said that when we were talking about that stumbling block, some
Yes, yes.
devotees having, and
Yeah.
that Siksha Guru takes care to remove that stumbling block. That
Yes,
time
yes.
you only said that some portion of the sin Siksha Guru has to take.
Yeah. Definitely I said, and that's why today also what I said, that Siksha Guru is not, is in the still is not, he's still undergoing, he's having aparadas, and he is undergoing his own prarabdha. So this is also added, and he will be responsible for this. I also said today, also said I that, but that is really, that means Shastra also we should check, I said. This logically it is, but shastrically we is also anywhere is written like that exactly. So that is the thing I want to see. I also said even Guru can destroy the stumbling blocks, offenses, and also sin. So, but he will be suffering for that, and a written statement. So we need to see, I said. And also today I said, if some Guru is not really that much highly elevated, and he is still in the process of purification, then what will happen? So he has to suffer or not? He's suffering already, his prarabdha, and it is added to him. That's the point I said, Prabhu.
Yes, correct. That is what you said. Thank you.
Yeah, students are very active.
Prabhuji, thank you so much for clarifying it again. It is most of the time the disciples, those are transcripted. So while hearing and writing, and as you said, it was the time was not available for Prabhupada to everything scrutinizingly read it and then correct it again.
Yes,
That's
Prabhu,
the exact point. And this one verse, Srimad Bhagavatam 3:8-22, one such example.
Yeah.
The translations, they have translated it. I mean, Prabhupada would have given correctly or recited correctly. But the disciples, what they heard, it's at the end of Brahma's 100 years. When his meditation was complete, he developed the required knowledge. And as a result, he could see in his heart the supreme within himself, whom he could not see before with the greatest endeavor. Now the question comes, after 100 years, Brahmaji get liberation. When if he meditated 100 years means, did the same Brahma take another birth and executed the creation? So this doubt comes. But fortunately, His Holiness Bhakti Bhanu Swami Maharaj, he did wonderful research on it from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and he gave it clearly. These 100 years in human calculation, not in the age of Brahma.
Yes, Prabhu, that is.
So he gave such a works. He already, Bhanu Swami Maharaj also found out so many such errors from the disciples' transcriptions, and he given the clarity.
Yes.
That
Maharaj
100
also,
years Brahma did tapasya, then he must have got liberated.
Yes,
then how he is coming back for creation again?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Very valid. Maharaj, Bhanu
a...
Maharaj also, I heard from about Bhanu Maharaj is saying like this. Many others also, other things also corrected by the Bhanu Maharaj also. So I also heard Prabhu same. This is, and but why we are not seeing anything? Because prati slokam abhaddhavatyapi. That means even Prabhupada from his mouth also is come, but we cannot undermine his purity and his position.
No, the way you said the principle not diluted, the core principle from the previous acharyas, that is intact. That is nowhere Prabhupada diluted. Whereas he simplified it so that the dull-minded like me can understand. He simplified so nicely the deep subject even. That way we must be very, very grateful. As Mataji said, we need not bother about it. We can just go what Prabhupada said. Even though there are details maybe a little bit here and there, but context-wise, the core principle not diluted.
Jivatma will never become like Paramatma.
Paramatma, so exactly. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
But the way the Prabhupada is having the love for the Krishna and like Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, can we?
Prabhu, my practical experience, I have read 4 or 5 commentary of Bhagavad Gita, nothing understood. The only book that I understood Bhagavad Gita is Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita as it is. I have studied Ramakrishna Math, including Ramanujacharya commentary. All those I have studied before coming to ISKCON. Whereas once I studied Bhagavad Gita as it is, that's it. My research, everything stopped. Full stop. That's all. This is the ultimate destination. Nobody gave such a commentary like Prabhupada. That is sure.
And one more point I heard from the actually today only I heard, so that Maharaj also, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj is saying, so my disciples, Prabhupada expected his disciples to write commentary on his books.
Yeah, yes.
He desired actually. So wherever
Yeah.
that means needed, so explanations, you can put the star marker. So this is this. Prabhupada sometimes what he is doing. So Vishwanath Thakur commentary, he will be bringing in the purport, in the translation, and in the translation, so more explanation he'll be giving. Translation we may giving little, and but more explanation is giving the purport. And sometimes you'll be seeing the next sloka purport also. You'll be seeing the explanation of this first sloka. So like that. So something, some here and there it will be there, but I am keeping the Acharya's books every day, all the slokas and Prabhupada books, and there is no at all. That means there is not at all a problem in the primary principles, but
Yes,
the
yes.
grammatical or otherwise the translation, word to word translations, or otherwise something part missing in the translation, or otherwise in the purport. Sometimes Acharyas, what angle they are describing, he may not explaining that complexity here, and he, simplifying and explaining, and you may not see that the Acharyas exact the intention or exact the information in the purport.
Exactly.
So that is also we can see. So, but those are all not at all a problem actually. Why he is doing that we can understand. So that's why we are trying to explain the mood of the Prabhupada, why he is writing here, and what is the intention. We are trying to explain in the class also when we refer the Acharya's commentaries with that angle.
So that way, as you said, even Prabhupada required to make commentary on his purport. The devotees from GEV, they are doing nice, this Bhagavata Subodhini. It's very nice, to understand the context and then the flow of Bhagavatam.
Yes.
Those are very nice. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Prabhu, do you also have something for similar to Subodhini you have for this Vedanta Sutra? It will be grateful for us. maybe you can keep it in mind, Prabhu. So later when time permits, you may develop it.
Yes, Prabhu, definitely.
Including the Sandarbhas also. Such a deep subject you thoroughly studied.
Yes.
And each word you're enjoying actually when you explain. But Prabhu enjoying, but it's nothing going inside. So but repeatedly, when hearing repeatedly or repeatedly studying, when we are familiarizing with those contexts, because it's so
you
deep.
came to Tattva Sandarbha classes, no?
I attended a week, then it's bouncing for me.
I saw your name actually.
Then
Prabhu, I was remembering your name.
Yeah. It was me. Yeah, exactly. It was me. But at the same time, the other course was the Jaiva Dharma. So it was very easy. So it was very interactive session. So I thought timing was same. So I attended Jaiva Dharma, skipped the Sandarbhas. Forgive me, Prabhu. Maybe when I've studied more, then I'll join again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one last point, because Prabhuji brought about Sandarbhas. So do you recommend any particular translation, English translation for Bhakti Sandarbhas? I mean, may not be 100%, just like for Mādhurya Kādambinī, you shared something with us. Because when I go online, I find different translations.
So I should not say officially, but unofficially, I can say some names actually.